working. Oh my word. So, if anybody happens to pop on here, I am a bit early. I was trying to start 5 minutes ago, but I don't know what's going on with YouTube. So, if you had joined me um, for the past couple of videos and lives that I have done, I have made mention that YouTube has been acting very, very wonky, and for some reason, I can't seem to schedule my lives without YouTube changing the orientation of my lives. So, as a content creator in what I'm doing, along with other Stampin' Up! Demonstrators who also do lives. Hey Deborah, I'm just a little bit early. I'm just kind of getting things all set up. I was mentioning that YouTube has been acting very weird lately, and it's not just me, but other content creators, like other demos, when they schedule their live, we always set the lives up to do horizontal, and we can get everything all set up, and then it turns out that let me make sure I got the right one, that YouTube is reverting the orientation to vertical. So now I can't schedule my stuff. I have to kind of set everything up um when I'm live. So this is kind of crazy. So and then when I went to do this a little bit, yeah, and the other thing too that was happening, I don't know, do you follow Dina Rico? She made mention. Now I follow, oh, I got too much here. I gotta take some off. Um, I was watching one of her videos. Because I am part of, what is it, Stamp Happy Academy, I get to participate in their catalog kickoff. And one of the lives that she had done, she made mention that she lost like 26 subscribers. And I had an issue actually where one day it tells me I had 500 subscribers. And then the next thing you know, I was down to 496 for the longest amount of time. And I still got the notification I hit 500. However, there's only 499 there right now. So between messing up, oh man. So between messing this stuff up with my orientation, it's evidently taken my subscribers away too. Or maybe they're still there, and it's just, I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. As a matter of fact, I mean, I was chatting with Barb Mulliken, and when she had done her live, I think like 2 weeks ago, she made mention that her orientation was all messed up. And I told her, well, the same thing happened to me. And it came down, she was asking me what kind of phone I use. We're both using a Samsung Galaxy. She's using a newer version. But then there's another demo who's using an iPhone. So don't know what's going on. At least I'm still recording, because I try when I went to go live, like 15 minutes early. Yeah, I went live, and all of a sudden it was refreshing itself, and it did it twice. And I'm hoping it doesn't happen again while I'm on here, because it really is frustrating. It really is. So what I'm doing is, now that I am live, I am taking the info that I put together to put in my description and all that, and I'm adding all that stuff right now. That's why I figured let me come on a little bit early to get this all set up. And yeah, get this set up and then we can start. I'm aiming to be done by 7. So if you're watching the replay, jump ahead about 15 minutes, and that's when I'm gonna start with, you know, like any type of housekeeping stuff, and which isn't a whole lot. But yeah, I'm just trying to get everything set up. Let's see, we don't want that. And let's change this to newest. Okay. I think we're good. And hopefully everything shows. Oh, man. You try to get this stuff done early so that way you don't have to go through all this. You could just go live. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now let me refresh this. And let me bring up my video. Okay, I muted my sound. Hello, Terry. Yeah, I came on. Oh, you know what, Deb? I didn't know Angie was going through that too. Oh, and Lisa too. All right. Yeah, you know, and they even went and reached out to YouTube. They did a live chat with someone there, and they couldn't give them a straight answer as to what was going on. So they got to get it together. So Terry, what I was saying before, I don't know how long you've been on, but YouTube is still acting crazy, and I can't schedule my lives. So I came on here early to let me pin this up to the top. Yeah, so I came on a little bit early to get everything set up and get everything in the description. And yeah, so again, if you're coming on, if you're watching the replay, jump ahead about 15 minutes. That's when I'll kind of start. In the meantime, I pinned up at the top. Yeah, Yvonne, I'm early because I had to get everything set up on the video. And, you know, it's kind of good that I did, because when I went live, this thing literally like refreshed its refreshed itself not once but twice on me, and I'm like, okay, I went live and all of a sudden I was gone. So hopefully it stays put. I don't get my screen going dark telling me to change the orientation. That's what happened to me on, what day was it? I think Tuesday, when I did my paper pumpkin. I kind of did that as a unpublished live, and again set it up as horizontal, and it decides it wants to go vertical, or it's telling me to go vertical, and I'm not doing that. So don't mind me. I am trying to get everything in place. Is it still hot as anything there, Terry? Has it cooled off? It started to warm up here a bit, and I'm just waiting for it to get cooler again, because I don't like the heat. Oh, cool. Yeah, you're in Cleveland. I bet it feels good there now, Deborah. Oh, and I bet everything is probably changing color. That's what I miss about up there. I don't miss winter too much, but I do miss the fall. All right. So what time is it? Are we at 7? Well, we got one more minute. One more minute, and then I guess I can flip this because there's really not much to talk about. I kind of did that as I was setting up the video. So again, you know, usually I schedule these ahead of time, so then, you know, you would see lower 80s, but yes, leaves are changing and so, oh, yeah, I miss that. I used to love driving through the metro parks during the fall. I loved it. That's what I do miss, the metro parks there. Um, what was I gonna say? Somebody, yes, Yvonne, I did make these. I did make these earrings. Okay. All right. So I think what I'm going to do, okay, so one thing I want to mention, I did pin up at the top of the chat the link for the Google spreadsheet for the wheel of names that I'll do at the end. And we'll do a drawing for 3 people for the projects that I make tonight. And I think, I'm pretty sure, Deborah, did you get your card? I'm pretty sure that I mailed it. Yeah, you do need your own YouTube account. So FYI, everyone, my assistant, Yvonne, she isn't here. She's on the other side of this this computer. So she's not here tonight. Okay, so again, so Deborah, did you get the card? Because I think I did. I'm pretty sure I mailed it out. I am pretty sure I did. Yeah, so I'm going to do a drawing. I'm going to do a wheel of names at the end for the 3 projects that I am making tonight. They're pretty cool looking projects. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm pretty sure that I did, because I think I did drop it off when I was on my way to church or something. Yeah, I think I did. I'm pretty sure that I did. Yeah. Pretty bad when I'm questioning myself if I did something or not. But yeah, I'm going to do a drawing, and yeah, Terry, yeah, because it took a little bit for me to get a hold of Deborah, to get her card out. Yeah. Um, what was I just gonna say? See, squirrel. Um, but yeah, what I'll do is when I go to do the drawing, you know, when I spin the wheel, the first person that comes up, they get to choose which card, and then the second, and then whichever's left, then I choose at that point, then gets the 3rd card. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did send your card out because you had asked me to actually write in it, I think. Okay. Now, let's see. I do have some stuff that I did print out to let you know about. There's not a whole lot of stuff that's happening. We did have on Wednesday, was Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. We did have free shipping that day, so hopefully you got the chance to take advantage of that. I did get some embellishments, so the ones that are in the new holiday mini, and FYI, the peppermint ones are They came back in stock, and I think in 24 hours they were then out of stock again. So I think they're coming back sometime in October. Um, yeah. So I already got 2 packets of those, but still I wanted to add another one. So I did take advantage of that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and flip this right now, and I'll talk about these things, and then we'll get started. So let me just move that out of the way, and let me go and flip this, and that way you don't see my ceiling. Pull this out some, move this down a little bit. I apologize for all the motion, and this didn't flip. There we go. Okay, so let me move this up a little bit and over some. There's this little bit of a delay. Move it down some. Take that down. Okay. So the first thing, World Card Making Day is approaching quickly. So it's not next weekend, but the following weekend. World Card Making Day always happens on the first Saturday of October. This year it's on the 5th. Stampin' Up! Is going to be doing a free virtual event that day from 2 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time. The registration is open. You have until October 4th to register. I believe it's by 1 p.m. Mountain Time on that day. Now, because it's a free event, you do want to register because that way they can email you the link to the platform that they're using. Plus, everyone that registers, they did say that they're going to give a free gift. Um, I'm going to hold this up like this, so that way you can scan it with your phone. Um, it was interesting. I did my, what did I do? My newsletter. I did that, like, I think on the 4th of September, and I had the link in the newsletter, and it was fine. And then when I went to send the one on Tuesday, letting everybody know about the free shipping day on Wednesday, this was in there too. But then it came back. Well, it didn't come back to me. Constant Contact is who I use for my newsletters, and they sent an email to me telling me that the link was a link that would have been that was considered spam. I I don't know. I mean, even when I clicked on it, it takes me right to the registration page for this. So I don't know what they were talking about, but um, yeah, so if you scan that barcode, it'll take you to the registration. You put your name and your email address, and then they'll email you all the information that you need for this. Now, for this event, when you get the confirmation email about registering, they're going to let you know what it is that they're going to be using. So for this event, the cards are going to be extremely, extremely simple. There's not going to be any stamping involved in these cards. What they're using is the um, the pre-printed card bases with the coordinating envelopes that's in the annual catalog. And then they're using 3 of the 4 different packs of the ephemera packs that are in there. So they're not doing any stamping. There's no embellishments. They're just using those ephemera packs and those cards. Now they are going to show some more projects that you can do later on, which there is some stamping. So they let you know what stamp set and You need the note cards, and I think it was the Memento black ink. So there's more stuff that they will provide to you. Now, if you're not able to attend this on that day or at that time, they did say that on October 8th, this will be available to then go back and watch. Now, they did not say how long that link is going to work. Usually when we've had virtual events, it's been for like 30 days, but they didn't include an end date on that. So if you didn't, then go ahead and take care of that. Now, on this day too, if you are local to me, I am doing an in-person get together, and it's not going to be so much a class because we may not be just using like one bundle or one suite. We may just make a combination of different projects. So if you are local to me and you would like to come, my email is in the description of the video. Just let me know. I would need to know by the 3rd of October, so on Thursday. Um, what I am going to do is that night at 7 p.m., I'm going to come back on here again and do a live, and I'm going to create those projects that we did here in person. Okay, so that's coming up really quickly. Another thing, I mentioned this more in the Paper Pumpkin video that I posted earlier this week. They do have a promotion going on for first-time subscribers that you can get your first month at 40% off. So this is for new subscribers. If you had subscribed, say, a while back and you want to be able to take advantage of this, you'll just need a different email than what you used originally when you were subscribed. So the first one again, you go to paperpumpkin.com, use the code holiday, all capital letters, 40, and that first kit you'll get at 40% off. So this offer is going to end on October 10th. The 10th of each month is like that magical day that, if you want to pause the kit, or if you wanted to double up on the kit, or if you wanted to cancel, you have to do that by the 10th of that particular month with that kit. Okay. But this is currently going on. And so right now that's all the announcements that I have as far as what Stampin' Up! Is doing. We're coming to the end of this month, so I still have to work on my schedule as to what I'm doing for the month of October. The one thing that I do know, I'm going to do my in-person class. I'm going to be doing that on Saturday, October 19th. I'm still working out all the details as to what I'm going to use, and also my whole video schedule and all that. So for this week, we are going to, let me kind of move things around here now that I got my laptop kind of like out of my way. So we're going to be using the Regal Flora, well, no, it's not Regal Flora, it's Regal Winter Suite. And so we have this really cool floral paper. Now, at first, when I saw this in the catalog, I really didn't know what to think. I thought, wow, it's a lot of flowers. It's a little busy. But, after kind of looking at this, it's got a lot of these jewel tone colors. It has Berry Burst, Blackberry, Bliss, Cherry Cobbler, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce, and Wild Wheat. Oh, and there's also basic white. They never tell you about the white. But yeah, you got floral on one side. You may have some floral on the other. But a lot of nice patterns. And we are using this paper on all three cards. And as a matter of fact, the last card that we're going to do, so today is September 20th. This would, well, it's my mom's birthday. She's not with us anymore, but I just thought when I decided to use this suite that I thought this would be perfect. So the last card I'm going to make is going to be in all blues because blue was her favorite color. So the suite comes with this 12 by 12 pack of Regal Winter DSP. It also has, sorry about that, it has the Regal Distressed Patterns paper. I'll also be using each pattern out of this as well. And then we're also using gold foil paper. Now this isn't part of the suite, but because there is gold in this specialty paper, we're using this as well. So let me get these things out of the way. Okay, and then we're pretty much using all the colors of ink that are in that paper. The only difference is I've added in Gorgeous Grape. The other thing I'm doing too, with the way that these images are, I'll be using my blending brushes to blend the ink onto our stamps. Sometimes words are really hard. So let me kind of move this off to the side. Put my embellishments up there. Okay, I don't know why I'm having a hard time here with figuring out where to put my stuff. You don't need to see my my mouse. Let me put this aside. I don't think I'll need it right now. So, okay. So my first card. Yeah, I think I was showing you what else was in here, right? Okay, there's, these are the Regal foiled adhesive back dots. This is part of the suite as well. Now, they don't have it on the packaging. They don't have it in the catalog, but if you go online, it will list the colors that are in here. So there's Berry Burst, Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss. I can't talk. Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Dyed Navy, and Shaded Spruce. Okay, we got it. So this is part of the suite, and then there's also this Blackberry Bliss and Gold textured ribbon. So this is kind of like almost like a linen type ribbon, and it just has that that metallic gold along the edges. So we're using this on 2 of the cards. And then also what I'm going to be using, this is Pretty Peacock and Gold metallic ribbon. This carried over from, I think, our mini catalog last year. I don't know if it was actually I think it may have went into the annual catalog last year, but this carried over. So we're going to use that on our last card. I'm also going to bring in the Greetings of the Season dies. I'm using these 2, and we're going to be creating a custom size die for our greetings. Oh, with this set, Deborah, you know, that was the thing. When I first saw it, I'm like, I thought, yeah, that paper looks kind of busy. I'm like, okay, what am I going to come up with that? And the truth was, I mean, I went on to Pinterest and I looked, and it wasn't too hard. What I did with this, I pulled out, I pull out all the cardstock colors that's in the paper. And then from there, I just kind of look at what to put together. And that's kind of like how I came up. I mean, I saw ideas. I kind of went with it a little bit. And it wasn't too bad. All right, so I have a piece of Berry Burst. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Wild Wheat. That's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I have a piece of that DSP. It measures 5 1/4 by 4. And then when I cut that, I had an extra piece. This measures 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 3/4. No, that's not right. That is not right. It's 4 1/4. I have it typed wrong. It's 4 1/4 by 3/4, and this is going to go on the inside piece that measures 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have a scrap piece for doing my stamping and die cutting. Now with these images, a lot of times I'll stamp, my images first, and then I'll die cut and then color them in. However, we're not using any blends or anything. We're actually stamping these, so I have not pre-die cut any of the images themselves. But I did die cut ahead of time the label that is in the set of dies, so this bigger one right here. Now what's interesting on how I did this, so on this one I'm just using this piece here. Now when you die cut it, it's going to create a border piece as well. So let me show you that die really quick. So on this die, it's going to die cut this inner piece here, but then it's also going to die cut the outer as well. So you can die cut this and you can have a different pattern or something on the outside. And that's what I've done like on my next 2 cards. I took this and I die cut, when I die cut this, the outer piece of this piece I'm going to be using on, I believe it's my last card. Then when I did the gold, I die cut this out of gold. Well, then the inner gold piece is going to go to one card, and then the outer piece is going to go to the basic white one. So you'll see. So I'm using like all the pieces. So none of the papers that I die cut are going to go to waste. I made it work with another card. And then I have a strip of basic white. This is just basically a scrap. I'm going to stamp the greeting on here. I'm going to die cut this, and I'm going to do a custom size of this die cut. So let's start. I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. Okay. And then I have my wild wheat, and then my DSP. So on here, I'm going to adhere my DSP to this layer. Now this is a new refill in my seal, and hopefully this one isn't messed up like the other one. I think I may have got a bad batch of my refills, because for some reason the little cellophane piece in here kind of like wraps around or something, and I gotta fix it every time. So hopefully that one doesn't do that. You get that adhesive off my finger. So I'm going to center this on here. Now there's not going to be much of a border on this. There's just a little tiny border. And then I'm going to take this and adhere it to the card base. Okay. And this too, there's just a really small border. Deborah, did you see that that Angie Judah had hit her 3 million in courier sales recently? I think that's awesome. She's an amazing woman. I know her. I met her at on stage, and yeah, I knew that she was going to have a hard time because she lost her Bella. And yeah, when I saw her, I told her, it's like, I asked her how she was doing. And I said, nope, I'm not even going to mention it. I know. But yeah, she said originally she wasn't going to go, but she decided, yeah, I'm gonna go. She's really sweet. I've known her. I've known her for quite a while. Okay, so we got that. So this piece, this strip here, you can put it on the very bottom of this piece, or you can bring it up a little bit more. You can just basically, you can put it wherever you want. This is the piece that's on the inside. So for this card, I'm not stamping a greeting inside of it, because then I can use this. I mean, this card, it's going to have a greeting of thanks on the front of it. So you can, you know, use another stamp that would be appropriate for the inside, or you can, yeah, she is. Yeah, she has, and yeah, and she made mention that she's got to have surgery, and you know, I know that, you know, she's, because of everything, she's kind of afraid, and I hope she really doesn't put it off for a really long time, because I had a friend who had a mass on their kidney, and yeah, um, when he had his surgery, that mass was the size of it, was like the size of a softball. They actually had to remove one of his ribs to get to it. So I really hope she doesn't wait a long time. But I can understand her fear of everything that's gone on. Okay, so what am I bringing in? I'm bringing in my set of stamps. Now, basically almost all these images, I'm going to use these. Got this one. And let's see, I think we want the little thanks. Okay. Let me get my blocks. Now for this one, I'm not really going to use my blending brushes on it, because I'm just going to stamp these in the solid color. I am going to use the blending brushes on the other two, because I'm going to be melding like two different colors on my images. And then let's get two more. Oh, we can put that one on there. And this one too. Using just about all of my blocks. Okay, so the other thing I want to grab, just in case, so the way the images are on these stamps, you don't want to have your ink pad like really inky, because you will not get this detailed type of look. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to stamp on this just in case before I stamp on here. So I'm going to bring in Cherry Cobbler. This is going to be the color that I use for my the image that has the 3 flowers on it. Now what I do with my ink pads, usually when you store them, you store them this way, so the ink pad is facing down, so the ink stays at the surface of the ink pad. But what I've been doing is I've been kind of storing these upside down, so then that way, so you can see that the image, it's not too bad. You can see the detail. So let me ink this up again, and I'm going to stamp this over here, and hopefully my piece is going to be big enough. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my wild wheat. Let me see how inky this is. Okay, that's not bad. Wild wheat is one of those colors that some people like it, and some people they don't like it at all. I think this color is a great color for fall, And it's one of those colors that just looks really, really good when you pair it up with other jewel tone colors. So basically all the colors that are in this paper, it just pairs very well with it. Okay, so I stamped 2 of those. And then I'm going to bring in Berry Burst. And I'm going to stamp this one single flower. Put that one over here. Okay, and then, oh, that hurt. We don't want to try and bend my nails back because that will not feel good. Okay, and then for this leaf image, I'm going to bring in Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to stamp 2 of these. Pretty Peacock's one of those colors. I love this color. Let's see. Put that there. I got one more image to stamp, and hopefully I can get it to fit in that little spot right there. And for that one, I'm going to bring in Blackberry Bliss. And yep, that'll fit in there. Okay. So now let me close this up. Kind of move those out of the way. And what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to clean these stamps. So that way I don't accidentally lay cardstock over it or my hand touches it, and then the next thing you know, I got ink all over the place. And I apologize if that was really loud. Okay, and then I have this little thanks here and my strip, and I'm going to stamp that in Shaded Spruce. So I'm basically using all the colors that are in the paper. Now, what's interesting about with this paper, one of the colors that they say that isn't in it is Gorgeous Grape. And when I look at this flower here, it looks like to me there would be Gorgeous Grape in there. So actually the last card that I make, I'm bringing in the Gorgeous Grape color for that one. Okay, so I'm going to ink this one up, this little thanks. And, you know, when you got these little greeting images, sometimes you end up with more ink within the letters, and then it doesn't stamp evenly. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this kind of like in the middle. Okay, we'll clean this. Okay, and I'll close this up. All right, so now let me bring in these pieces now. Like I have mentioned in past videos, when I've had to do die cutting while I'm live, I do have a stamp and cut and emboss machine, but I'm kind of lazy. I will admit that. And I do have an electronic die cutter, so I am going to use this instead of bringing that out and cranking it and taking a chance on hurting my wrist, because I have moments with this one ever since I put this all this IKEA furniture together that I have in this room. Okay, so I have all these dies. Let's see if I can get most of these on here. Let's see. Okay. All right, and then we have these flowers. Got this one here. And then I got my little one. And then one of my leaves. So I am using, between the 3 cards, I am using every one of the dies in this set. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on. I'm going to actually move this down so that way when I put the cover on, it doesn't shift. So let me step over here. Okay, hold on. My one die shifted a little bit. And I got to remember that if I step away from this phone, I'm not using the microphone tonight, because when I use the microphone and I have the little adapter piece in the phone, I can't charge my phone as I'm going. And I learned that when I hit a very close to the 2-hour mark, yes, 2-hour mark, when I did my paper pumpkin kit, yeah, I made the comment that I'm sure this thing is going to start barking at me and tell me that the battery's going dead. And as soon as I said that, yeah, it told me that it had 14%. So had to get done. But since I had to come on here, you know, earlier, okay, where am I putting these things? I didn't want to take a chance of that happening. And ultimately, my goal is to not be here for 2 hours. And I see that it's already showing that it's been 47 minutes. Or it's probably been about 30, 35, because I did start a little bit earlier. Okay. So here are our other 2 pieces. And then for my label, for this one, now I have used these dies quite a bit, and I haven't even used the suite that it goes to yet, but that's coming. So this is an online exclusive item. And where are they? They're right here. These are the Greetings of the Season set of dies. So these are a whole bunch of different tags. So for this one, I am going to take this long oval one, and I'm going to kind of line this up. Now I don't want this to be very big. So I want to have like maybe about this much space from the end of the S to the end of the die. And I'm going to make sure that looks straight on there. And I'm going to run this through. Okay. And then I'll get rid of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my die. This time I'm going to flip it over so the end that has the hole in it will come off to this side. And then I'm going to put this on here. Now I'm just going to move this a little bit, and I can tell that this is kind of locked around that die cut. And I'm just going to slide it over to where it looks like I have an equal amount of distance on either end from the greeting. And then I'm going to take this and I'll run it through the machine again. Okay. So then the end result is we have a custom made die. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's get this out of the way and let's go ahead and get our card assembled. So let me bring in my base. Okay, I'm going to bring in my ribbon. So I had seen on Pinterest somebody had done this and it looked really cool. So I thought, yep, let's do that. And let me fix my my take your pick tool because I saw that this thing wasn't covered. Don't want to cut myself. Okay, so I want a piece that's going to be long enough. Okay, put that aside. And then what I'm going to do, now you got to be kind of careful with this. There, when you die cut this, there is a little slit in each of these corners here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to tuck that under. Now this ribbon, when you go and cut it, the ends are going to fray. So I want to try and get this in. Okay, and then I'm going to carefully pull this through. And I'm going to come out this end right here. So you could see that it's starting to fray. Okay, so we have our ribbon that comes out on either end of our piece here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I have one here that I've started. Okay, and then I'm going to add a few to the back of this. Okay, and I'll put one right there. So I'm putting one partially on the ribbon and on the die cut so it holds it down. Okay, and then I'm going to add two more so this doesn't sag because we are going to be building up on this die cut with our with all those flowers that we stamped and die cut. Okay, and then I'm going to center this on my card, so make sure that's straight. I'm going to center that right there. And then I'm going to trim at an angle these the ends of my ribbon. I could trim a little more, but I do have a pair of scissors that are strictly for the ribbon. Okay. And then we'll do this end. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start building up all of our flowers. So on these pieces here, these are going to be on the bottom. So I'm going to use my seal on these. I'm going to add one kind of like up here. The other one down here. And then for our pretty peacock pieces, add some here, and I'll tuck this one kind of like over here, and this one down here. And then my little, let's see, we're going to take this cluster of our cherry cobbler and we're going to pop that up. So I'm going to add 3 dimensionals onto that. Okay, and then I'm going to place this one right down here like so. Now I'm not going to fully press that down quite yet. And then for my very first one, I'm going to add one up here. I'll kind of see where I'm putting it. And then I'm going to put another one right over here. Okay. And then I'm going to stick that one right there. And then for my little tiny one, my Blackberry Bliss one, I'm going to add some there. And then I'm going to kind of tuck this right back there like so. Now I can press everything down. Okay, so then for my little label here, I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to place it on this end here, the end that's got the S. And I'm going to add a little bit of seal on the other side. And then I'm going to pop this right over here. I'm going to make sure I get it straight. Like so. And then we're going to bring in these embellishments. And I'm going to use the Berry Burst ones. So let me get my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to add one right in here. And then we'll pop one. Let's see. Got one down here. And then I'll kind of fit this one over here. So with the paper and those stamped images, I mean, it does look a little bit busy, but I kind of like it. And then we carried on that paper on the inside. So actually on this, I didn't use any Wink of Stella on it. If I added Wink of Stella, if you want to put that on the flowers, you want to be mindful not to do too much, because it will pull up the color into the brush. So that way you don't mix the colors up. Okay, so then let me then kind of tidy this up a little bit. So that way I can bring in the stuff for my second card. It is a great color. Pretty Peacock is like one of my, oh yeah, she did. You know, Deborah, I think she's dealt with that nasty thing, I think a couple of times. That poor woman, she has gone through a lot. All right, so now let me bring in all the pieces for our second card. Okay, so this one, for me, it feels like it's, I don't know, it's more like a fall type card with the way the print is on this. So here's all my pieces. Now, when I did my sample card, um, I had taken a piece of that Blackberry Bliss and Gold ribbon, and I had cut it in half, and you can see I didn't do a very good job of doing that, but this is the other half of that ribbon, because this ribbon, it ties nice, but the bow would have just been too bulky on this. Um, so I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss. This measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored it at 4.25. So I will go ahead and I will fold. The magnetic, yeah, that magnetic, yeah, right, the pad, that is part of, what is it? It's the Anna Griffin? Yeah, Anna Griffin. For some reason, I want to say Griffith, and it's not Griffith, it's Griffin. The Empress machine. And yeah, that is the magnetic thing that came with it. So I guess there's different ways you can cut into this. Some were, I mean, the instructions, they said, you take your die and you place it this way and then die cut that way. The only problem is when you're stamping something and die cutting, how are you supposed to line that up that way? So I had seen Wendy Cranford use this, and she just cut into the magnetic plate. Now, I did get some extra ones. Those magnetic plates were $11, and that was off of her actual website. I did look on Amazon, and they actually cost a little bit more. And I didn't want to take a chance if it, I don't want to mess up the machine because maybe it's too thick or whatever. So there, I did get some replacement ones. Okay, so Blackberry Bliss card base. Then I have a piece of cherry cobbler. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have another pattern of that DSP. And you can see with this one, it's got some of the purples in there and the reds. There's a little bit of the berry burst. But to me, when I look at this, it just looks very fallish to me. So this piece here measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then I have a piece that's for the inside. This is 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to do a little bit of stamping on this piece. Then I have 2 scraps of basic white. And then with that, which paper, what was this one called again? Uh, huh, yeah, I didn't put that down. I did not list this on my thing. This was the Regal Distress Patterns. So this is the cherry cobbler pattern. This measures, I didn't do a very good job on my PDF. I'm going to have to fix it. So this measures 5 1/8 5 1/8 by 1.5. Okay, that's going to go on the front. And as I mentioned with that die cut, this is, so when I die cut this, this is the outer frame piece. And then there's an inner piece that's going to be used on the last card. So I'm going to be using this. Now, the one scrap of the basic white, I am, did I put it away? I'm going to die cut this die, and I'm going to use the inside, so then that way I'm going to have a border of the gold and around the white piece. Okay, but I'm going to stamp my greeting on there first before I do that. And then there's the other piece that's going to be the scrap that I do my stamping on. And then out of the gold foil, I used the bow punch. This is in our annual catalog, and I use this to punch out those two leaves in that. Okay, now on this too, we're going to do a little bit of heat embossing on this as well. So what I'm going to do is let me actually bring that in, and I'll take care of that first. So in this stamp set, there is this one stamp that has these little dots right here. So I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to stamp this like 3 times on this background paper. So I'm going to bring in my embossing additions kit. Now in this kit, what you get, okay, let me show you what you get. Let me pull out what you don't get. So you have your embossing buddy. Well, you got the tray, you got your embossing buddy, there's a brush, and there's also the reverse locking tweezers. And this other stuff that I have in here, this is just one of those little plastic hors d'oeuvre spoons I got from a package from the dollar store. And I use this for scooping my embossing powder. And then I just have a little piece of a Swiffer. I use this to wipe off any of the excess powder from the embossing buddy. Now, we have a full-sized Versamark ink pad. I do have that, but then I also have this little cube size of the Versamark. I found this on the Tailored Expressions website. Well, as a matter of fact, I think it was last year that I found it when I was ordering those tear-off calendars. I do the calendars for my coworkers every year. That's my little gift to them. I usually would make little tree packaging, but now that we've been working from home, that would get a little costly to mail all that out. So I make little calendars for them. Then I have my gold embossing powder. This is those Sistema containers. So all of my different colors are in these little containers here. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I'm going to add some of my embossing buddy on here. But then again, if I end up with additional flecks of gold powder, that's fine too, because it'll just add to this. Okay, so let me get a block. Is this block going to be big enough? Yeah, it'll be big enough. Okay, I'm going to ink this up. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp one up here. Do another one over here. And then I'll put another one kind of like down here. Okay, I'll close that up. And let me clean this. The one thing I noticed with Versamark, it really likes to stay on the stamps even though you clean them. All right. Then let me bring in my little tray here. Move this stuff out of the way. And then my gold embossing powder. I found that even though I use that embossing buddy on here, there's like a very thin amount of the powder that kind of sticks still, other than what I had stamped. So because these little spots are small, you don't really see it that well on here until you melt it. Okay, well, let's close this up. Okay, and I'll move all this stuff out of the way. And then I got my tweezers. And let me get my heat tool. Well, hopefully this isn't loud when I turn it on. Okay. I like to come from the back of the paper to heat it up. You can't really see what I'm doing. Okay. Alright, so we just want a little bit on there. Cool this off. And then this is what I like to do with my little piece of Swiffer, just to get some of that excess embossing buddy powder off of there. Okay, so now I can take this and let's see, what am I going to do next? I'm going to take this piece of this DSP, add some adhesive to it. And then I'm going to center this on here, or try to come close to centering it. It's not very straight. Okay. That still looks a little wonky, but it'll be okay. Most of this is going to be covered anyway. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to adhere this to this piece of cherry cobbler. So there's a little bit more of a border on this. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere this to my card base. Put that there like so. Okay, so now we're going to take that, we're going to set that aside, and then this is our piece for inside, so we're going to stamp on that, and then I'm going to take, now this is the one I'm going to die cut this on, but before I die cut it, I'm going to bring in this greeting that says, "Wishing I were there to give you a hug." It's a very nice greeting. Let me bring in my block. Ooh, you're way not straight. Okay, move that down just a little bit. Wow. Okay, we want it somewhat straight. Then I'm going to bring in my Blackberry Bliss ink. And let's see, goes this way. I'm going to try and get this centered somewhat. A little wonky. Actually, let's stamp that again. Evidently my Blackberry Bliss ink pad isn't as inky as the rest of them. Okay. Then let's make sure that I got this centered enough so this fits over it. Yep. So let me bring this back in again. Okay. Then I'm going to center this. This would have been a nice set if they made it in photopolymer. Get a little bit closer, because we're going to be putting stuff more on this right hand side of this. Okay. Let's run this through. Okay. So you can see we have this leftover frame piece. So I'm going to set that aside, and that can be used for another project, but then there's our piece there. And then this will fit right inside this gold frame. Okay. Now, let's do our stamping of our flowers. Okay. Bring this in. Clean that up. Okay, so then, now with the flowers, like I said, we're going to be using blending brushes. So for this one, I'm going to be using Berry Burst, and I'm also going to use Blackberry Bliss. Now, on this one, I was using Gorgeous Grape on this one. So I want to kind of clean that just a little bit. That's one of the things that I like about having my chamois right here, because that'll help. I mean, it'll wet it a little bit, but if I just brush it onto my paper, it'll be okay. All right, so then, so this is the piece that we're putting inside. So for our images, I'm going to bring in this larger flower and this single one. And I want my Berry Burst ink. So I'm going to stamp both of these. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to take my brush that I'm using for my Berry Burst, and I'm just going to brush this on it. What it'll do is it'll soften it up some. Now you can do this also with sponge daubers. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in Blackberry Bliss and pick up some of this ink. And then I'm going to kind of go around, kind of like around the middle. So I'm just going to tap and just swirl a little bit of color towards the center parts of these flowers. Okay. And then we're going to activate the ink because it's probably dried some, so you just simply huff on it. And then we stamp that. So you can see that you kind of have two different shades on that. Now let me clean this. Now the only thing is when you use the blending brushes on here, you're going to have your ink kind of like in the crevices, so you got to really like clean that before you put it into another color of ink. And then let's do this one. Let's see. Okay, so we have a nice two-tone flower there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in this leaf pattern here. Now this comes out really, really cool with this combination of colors. I'm going to use wild wheat and cherry cobbler on the ends of it. So let me kind of take these and put these out of the way. And I have my little brush for my red, and then I have my little brush for my wild wheat. Okay, so we're done with those. Okay, so then for this one, I'm going to ink it up in wild wheat. And then I'm going to take my blending brush. I'm just going to soften this up and blend that ink bit. And then with my cherry cobbler, I'm going to put some of this on here. And I'm going to just try and get the tips of these leaves. Okay. I'll huff on it. Stamp one there. You can see how cool that looks. And then an important thing, clean the stamp. And dry it off. And get back up again. And then some of our cherry cobbler. Up on it, stamp it again. There we go. Kind of missed a little bit of the leaf over here, but it's the one thing we can't exactly stamp back over it again. Okay, so we're done with these two. Now, while I got the ink out and my stamps out, I'm going to stamp the inside of my card. So let me bring in the paper, put that right there, and then my inside. And then for this one, let's see, what do I want to do with this one? I am going to take this cluster of flowers and I'm going to do that combination that I did with the Blackberry Bliss and the Berry Burst for this one. You know, it's kind of dangerous doing this right over my cardstock piece. Okay. Blend that together. And then you kind of get these out of the way so I don't accidentally end up using them. And then let me bring in my purple. And then I'm going to bring in Blackberry Bliss. Okay, and then I'm just going to tap some of this color into the middle. And then I'm going to come right over into this corner right here. Like so. Just want to add a little bit of decoration into the inside. And then I'm going to bring in my cherry cobbler, and I'm going to stamp my greeting that I need to pull out. Yeah, get this cleaned up. Okay. And so for this one, I want the missing you. Now again, if you struggle on stamping straight, you know, with the cling mount stamps, you can do this with a stamp positioning tool, or what I have done. I mean, if you put the labels on that, that's going to help too. I'm lazy, so I haven't. But what I've done is I've taken my stamps and I'll line them up on my block and just look to see if that's straight with the bottom edge of my block. Okay. Ink this up. And then let's see if I can get this straight. Yay! I'll kind of go back and I'll look at comments when I'm done. And again, up at the top, I have pinned the link to the Google Excel spreadsheet. Just add your name into that. And if you have a problem, because if you're doing it on the phone, you may not have like Excel installed on your phone. So you may have a problem possibly on doing that. I think Terry was able to do that. I'm sure Terry would be kind enough to add your name to that list. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and add my adhesive to it. We're going to put this inside our card. Like so. Okay, let's get this blending brush out of the way. Okay, so now let's go and die cut these flowers. So we need this one, big one, and then we need the leaves. Okay, and then let's put this over there so we don't lose that. You know, I would probably pull out the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. Also, if we had a magnetic plate for it that worked. Okay, Terry, if you could add Deborah on there. Looks like she's having a problem adding her name. And so if you are on here watching, because according to what I'm seeing 7 people on here. I know that I take up 2 of those people because I have my laptop and my phone, plus 3. So there's 2 more people on here. So if you want to be in the drawing for one of the cards that I make tonight, go ahead and add your name to that spreadsheet. And if you're having an issue in doing that, you know, say something in the comments and we can get your name added. All right, now let me poke out this little piece and let me die cut it one more time. Thank you, Terry. And I'll tell you, Deborah, I have one of those Amazon Fire tablets. Yeah, that thing's kind of fussy too. Okay. All right, so we have our pieces die cut. So now let's get our card assembled. Move that out of the way. So I'm going to take my piece of ribbon here and I'm going to tie a bow. Okay, I don't want it very big. Okay. And my little sample card sitting over here. Okay, and I'll set that aside. Now for this greeting, this label here, to attach these 2 pieces together, I'm just going to line this up, bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to put half of this dimensional on the outer piece and the other half on the inner piece, and it'll hold it all together. It is like so quiet here. Like there's no noise outside. I don't hear anybody out in the breezeway making a bunch of racket. Okay, and then I'm going to add 2 more into the middle. Okay, so let me take off these paper backings. Okay, so let me set that aside. And then for these two pieces of my gold leaves and these two leaves here, I'm going to actually use my liquid glue for this part. So I'm going to add just a little bit, like a little drop on each of these petals or each of the leaves. And I'm going to place this kind of like over here. And then one of these. I have this one over here. Oh, there's a cricket. Yeah, you know, I would love to open the window, but if I was on the second floor, I probably would do that. But being on the ground floor, yeah, not so much. Not so much. Okay. And then this one's going to go right over here. Well, at least that cricket's outside and it's not in your home. I had that one time. Yeah, that thing I needed to find that thing. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to bring this down here. I really love the combination of the wild wheat with that cherry cobbler for these leaves. That definitely screams fall. Okay, and then on this label piece, I am going to place this down, like right over, try and center it from top to bottom over that strip that I put down. And I'm going to come over just a little bit, like so. And then for these flowers, this one's going to kind of come up here. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take some glue for this one. And I'm just going to put it towards the bottom of this flower. And I'm going to place that down right there. And just hold that for a minute. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to kind of add this over here. So I'm going to pop this one up. So I'm going to strategically place my dimensionals. So we want one right down here. And then we want one over here. And then we can put one right over on this end. Okay. We're almost there. One more card to go. Okay, and then I'm going to place that right there. And then this time with the Regal foiled adhesive back dots, I'm going to use my Blackberry Bliss ones. And I'm going to add these to the center of these flowers. At least these three here. Okay, and then I'm going to add my bow. So I'm going to bring in my glue dots. Now I got a sheet of glue dots in here someplace that comes from a paper pumpkin kit. And I'm going to use those because I have a lot of those. If you didn't catch my my paper pumpkin video that I did the other day, oh my gosh, guys, that is like, that kit is amazing. I love that kit. It definitely screamed fall. Okay, so on this, I'm actually going to add 2 of these to hold my bow down. These little paper backings. Okay, and then I'm going to add my bow right here. And then let me get my scissors. And I'm going to trim this. Let's see. Do it that way. Okay. So there is our second card. There you go. Actually, that bow can be turned a little bit more. Let me fix that. There we go. Looks a little bit better. Okay. All right. Now we got one more card to do. This is the one that is in honor of my mom. Happy birthday up in heaven, Mom. Okay. So let me kind of get these pieces. What I like about this one features all of my favorite colors. So purple is number 1, and the blues and the aquas are all a very close second. Okay, so I have a piece of Pretty Peacock. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Night of Navy. This measures 4 3/8 by 3 3/8. And then I have the Regal Distress Pattern Specialty Paper. Really? Did you not? Oh, man. This measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So that's going to kind of like be our panel there. Got our Night of Navy. And then I have a piece of the Regal Winter paper. This measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So that's going to layer on top of our Night of Navy. Then I have another piece of that DSP. That's going to go on this inside panel of basic white. And this is 5 1/4 by 4. Wow, I missed a lot of stuff on my PDF. I'm going to have to go back and fix that before I upload it. Well, that's awesome, Terry. That her favorite color was blue too. Okay, so then when I die cut that other piece for our previous card, so this gold outer piece here, This is the inside part, so I'm going to use that on this card. And then from my first card, the inside piece here that we used, I am then using the outside piece, and I'm going to adhere that to this gold foil piece, just like I did on the last card. So basically that's just scraps of that paper. Then out of a scrap of boho blue, I die cut this using this die here out of the set of dies that go with this suite. And then I have some scrap basic white that I'm going to stamp my flowers on, and then my greeting. And with this greeting, we're going to do that custom die cutting for that label as well. So I'm going to take my card base and fold and burnish it. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece of DSP, add some adhesive to this. And there's just going to be a little small border around this. Okay. And then on this other piece here, I am going to attach these two together. I'll center that. Okay, and then this piece is then going to get adhered to the center of this. Like so. And move that up just a tad. Over just a tad. Okay, we'll set that aside. Then, like I said, on these pieces, I'm going to bring these together. And I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to put these together. Just kind of line it up. Pick another one. Oh, Yvonne, by the way, guess what started back up again? The new season of the new Frasier is on now. So they got the first 2 episodes of season 2 on there. Okay, got 2 in there. Okay, so we're going to take, so for the bottom of this, actually I should have, yeah. Let me take these off because I have to adhere this die cut piece on the bottom of this. So I should have put that down before I put these on here. Try to do this without tearing. Don't be mad at me, but I already had watched them last night. But I'm okay that when you come over again that I can rewatch it. Oh, crud. Yeah, I tore it. But I'll get it back together again. The one thing when you got these die cuts that are really, really thin. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to take this and I want to kind of tuck it on the bottom of this. So now let me kind of fix this. Kind of put this on here like so. Make sure I get that one piece there to hold it all together. Okay. Oh, you still didn't hold it. I'm done. We'll get it. We'll get it. There we go. All fixed. And now that piece looks lower than that. Leave it alone or I'm going to tear it. Well, a lot of this is going to get covered when I add the bow to it. Okay, now let me set that aside. Then on this piece here, I am going to stamp my greeting, and it's going to be the one that says, "Sending love your way." Okay. You know what? I actually am using every stamp out of the stamp set. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp this in Night of Navy. Make sure, yeah, I just want to make sure I got the right piece. So I want to try and get this kind of centered, so that way I leave enough room for die cutting that. Okay, clean that. And then, let's see. So on this one, I don't have anything stamped on the inside. Okay, let me close this up. I'm going to be using that again. And then I got my gorgeous grape ink. Oh, and then I'm going to need Pretty Peacock too. I'll need those 3 colors. Okay, so then out of this same set of dies, the Greetings of the Season, I'm going to use this one here. And I'm going to be flagging either end of this greeting. So let me bring this back in. Okay, and just kind of line this up to where it looks kind of even. Okay. Make sure that's kind of straight. And we'll run this through. Hi, card crazed Froggy. All right, and then I'm going to flip this over and it'll kind of lock onto this piece that I already die cut. And just go over a little bit. Okay, and I'll run it through again. All right. These cards seem like they're taking a really long time to do. Okay, so then there is my custom die cut of my greeting. So I'm going to set that aside. Okay, then for the inside of my card, I'm going to take this piece of DSP and I'm going to add this to the base, and I'm going to line this up right onto the bottom edge. Oops, you did not stick down right. Okay, so let me take this and put this inside. And I'll place this in here. Okay. Now let's do our stamping. Okay, so that same technique on what I did earlier with the blending brushes, I'm going to do that again. So I want these triple flowers and these leaves. So for the flowers, I'm going to bring in my brush for my purple. But I want to kind of clean this a little bit because the last color I used on this is the Blackberry Bliss. You can see that's a lot of Blackberry Bliss. I don't want to get that all mixed in with my gorgeous grape. As you can see, this color is much darker. Squeaky, squeaky. Okay, so most of that's off. Okay, and then I have a brush for my Night of Navy. So my leaves, I'm going to do them in Pretty Peacock, but I am not going to like do two separate colors on that. So I'm going to take my gorgeous grape. I'm going to ink up these flowers. And kind of blend the ink on here. And then ink this up. Road trip to Ohio. Oh, you know I'm all for that. I am long overdue for an Ohio trip. Long overdue. I haven't been back since I moved down here at the beginning of 2012. So I'm definitely overdue. So I have the gorgeous grape that I brushed, and then I added some Night of Navy for the centers of those flowers. I'm going to huff on this. And I'm going to stamp that. Why is my screen starting to get a little fuzzy? Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of that darker blue in the center of those flowers. Okay, so I'm going to clean my stamp. And again, because I use the brush, it gets inside the crevices of these flowers. So when I do my drawing, I'm going to do the sample card, since this one tore a little bit and that's a little bit uneven. Okay, so now I'm going to ink it up again. Okay, brush that out. I did a video, what would have been a good number of months ago, where I kind of did this same type of technique. And I think it was the artistically inked bundle that I used before it officially retired out of the catalog. And I did the same technique. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that again. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and then let's close this up. And this one. All right, then I want my pretty peacock. And my leaves. Now hopefully I got enough space on here for both of the, for two of these. And if not, and it looks like I don't, all I have to do is walk right on over here and grab another scrap. Okay. Ink it again. Okay. So now I get all these ink pads kind of like out of the way. And put these away. All right, now we want to die cut these out. All right. And then my leaves. A little bit did not come out. Okay. So we're almost there. Okay. piece. Kind of tidy up some of this stuff, because when at the end, like I said, I'll be doing a drawing. You doing the wheel of names at the very end, and I'm going to choose 3 winners to win one of the cards that I'm making tonight. So the one I'm doing, since this one touring was a little lopsided a little bit, my sample one came out much better, so I'm going to use that one instead of this one. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to stick this down in the center there of the card base. Are all of you kind of seeing the picture kind of getting a little like pixelated or a little blurry? It's kind of looking like that on my laptop. Okay, so then I'm going to kind of center this right here. And then on my flowers, I'm going, let's see, first I'm going to put these down. I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. Add some to the back. And I'm going to place this right over here. Yeah, you made 10 of the cards, but they're still not put together yet. Those are cards you still got to finish. All right. Then let me add some glue to this. And then I'm going to add this one kind of like down here. All right, and then for my flowers, I'm going to add this kind of like over here. So I want dimensionals. We're going to strategically place these. Let's see. And one more over here. Okay, so then this is going to kind of go in this corner. Like so. And then this one is going to go over here. Again. And down the very bottom here. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of put this one in this corner here. Okay, and then for my greeting piece, add some more dimensionals. Okay, we're going to kind of place these more in the middle, since it's going to overlap some of these flowers here. Okay, and then I'm going to center this right here. And then let me get my glue dots, and I'm going to take 2 of these. And I'm going to place them kind of like right in between my border and that foiled centerpiece. Okay, remove that. And then this time I'm using this pretty peacock and gold ribbon. So this is like really thin. You can actually see through this. Okay. Trying not to do like a really, I want the center of my bow, I want that to be kind of flat, so I'm not going to pull it really, really tight. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down right there, and then let me get my scissors and trim. Okay. We'll set that aside. Now we got one more thing to do and then our cards are done. So I'm going to bring in these embellishments again, and this time I'm going to use these Night of Navy ones. And I'm going to place one there. One right over here. And then one right up there. Okay. So let me kind of tidy this all up a little bit so I have room, because to do this I don't have like that fancy software to where you can flip to, you know, like different screens and all that. So what I have to do is I actually have to bring in my laptop so you can see the screen. But let me just kind of move some stuff out of the way. So there is the third card. But like I said, here's my sample. This is the one that I'll be giving away. All right, so now let me bring in the 3 cards that we did. So again, there's that one. This one, these cards, really, it's the paper that did all the work on this. So there is our first one. And our second one that looks a little bit more fallish like. And then our third one. So one thing to mention, well, first, if you like the projects that I made tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me in not only growing my channel, but it also helps in building my business. I'm looking at my subscriber count, and right now it says 499. Now it technically did say 500 about a week or so ago, but who will get me up to that over that 500 mark? Okay, but if you like the projects and you would like the free card kits, now again, you would have to be in the US to place an order with me. And for me to end up sending like any product. Now, if I have anybody on here with me that's live, Card Craze Froggy, where do you live? Are you in the US or are you out of the country? I mean, if you end up winning a card, I mean, I can mail a card. That's not a problem. It's actual product that I can't send outside of the US. But if you like the projects and you would like the free card kit, so I would, now these images are stamped and then die cut, so you would need the stamps and the dies to create these exact projects. But like the labels, I can die cut that, and I can give you the the cardstock scraps for doing the stamping and all that. It's a minimum $35 order. in my online store. Place that order by next Wednesday, September 25th by midnight, and I will not only get the card kits out to you, plus there'll be a thank you card. And then also this month for my in-person class, I use the More Than Autumn bundle. So the little scissor fobs that I made, I used these dimensional little coffee cups, and I'll include one of those as well. Okay, so now the order of these cards, it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, same order in which I had made them. So if you have not already added your name to the spreadsheet, go ahead. I do have the link of that pinned up at the top of the chat box. And okay, so I got Debbie, Yvonne, Terry, Deborah, and Froggy. Is there anybody else? Anybody else watching who hasn't commented? Yeah, these cards, I mean, the cards look a little bit busy, but they came out cool, I think. That paper is pretty cool. All right, so that's who I have on here. So let me take these names and let me add it to the wheel of names. So is that everybody? Again, I have Debbie, Yvonne, Terry, Deborah, and oh wait, Deborah, you're on here twice. You're on here twice. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, hold on a second. All right, let me just make sure nobody. Okay. All right, so we have 4 of you on here. So then let me go and do this. Let me kind of unplug my laptop here so I can bring it into the screen so you can see. Now again, I'm going to spin this. And of course, look how choppy that looks. Let me bring up the wheel. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this, and when your name comes up, choose which card you want. So I'm going to just give me what number. It's going to be in the order in which I made them. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so where's my mouse? There it is. Let's spin. Move that up a little bit. Ooh. Deborah, which card would you like? And I really need to go back to the thing so I can see what you say. Let me know which one, Deborah. Oh. Number 3, okay. All right. Okay, so then we got the first 2, so let me go back to the wheel. Okay. Yvonne, which one? Why is that popped up? Go away. Which one, Yvonne? Okay, number 2. Okay, and then our last one. Let me go over here. All right. Terry, so you got the first one. Froggy. So there was just the 4 of you. So, so that one, the last one we did kind of got messed up a little bit. So which one would you like out of like the first 2? Okay, you're in Canada, that's fine. I mean, I got postage that's for overseas too, so that's fine. That's okay, Yvonne. I got these 2 extra ones. Remember, I got my samples that I make. So Froggy, which one would you like? Are you still here, Froggy? Okay, did she say she won number 1? So I'm not seeing it. Okay, so Terry's saying number 1 and that you're still here. Hi, Carolina. Okay, Carolina, just to let you know, you can fast forward like the first 15 minutes because I spent that time getting my whole YouTube live all set up with stuff in the description since I've been having a hard time with YouTube not cooperating. Okay, so Froggy, what I'm gonna need from you in the description of the video is my email address. If you can send me an email with your full name and mailing address, and I will get that card out to you, okay? All right, so all these lights are like right on the screen. Let me just kind of move them out of the way. Okay, so I thank all of you for joining me, and for those of you that are watching the replay. Oh, said three? Okay, okay, so number three, Froggy. Um, okay, so what was I gonna say? Okay, so again, thank you everyone for joining me. Um, for joining me tonight. Again, I apologize for, you know, everything. Yeah, my thing's spinning. I don't know what it's doing. Hmm. That's weird that because I have it set at live chat, so that's why. I mean, I'd be seeing everything. Um, So, yes, again, thank you for those of you that joined me live. Sorry, this looks like this went a bit longer than I wanted to. Cards took a little bit longer than I expected them to. Um, Next Friday, I'm going to be using the Humble Home Bundle. That's in the new holiday mini. That's the one, the stamp set and the coordinating punch. That's the house. I'll be doing that one next Friday. I have not yet scheduled everything that I'm going to do for the month of October as far as my video schedule goes. I will tell you that if my in-person class will happen on October 19th, so if you are local to me, my email address is in the description. Just send me an email. Let me know that you're interested by Thursday, so the Thursday before. Um, that would be, was it the 19th? So the 17th of October. I'm still, okay. Yeah, Froggy, I had the other one. The other one is here. Um, but what was I gonna say? If you're interested in wanting to know what my video schedule is going to be, like what the products are that I'm using for my Throwback Thursdays, and for my Friday night lives and all that. I have that in my newsletter. I include the info about the in-person class that I do, any info on what Stampin' Up! Is offering as far as like sales and things. Also new kits. So as soon as they let us know what the two new kits are going to be for October, I will include that into the newsletter, and then I will send it out. So it could end up going out just before World Card Making Day. And again, at the beginning, I spoke about World Card Making Day and registering for Stampin' Up's free virtual event. And then also on that day, I'll be doing an in-person class. And then at 7 p.m. on the 5th of October, I will also be going live again, and I'll be creating those projects that we did at my in-person event. So with that, I think we're done now. So again, I thank all of you for joining me. And again, if you like the projects, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. That all really helps me immensely. So again, thank you everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.